How's it going, gamers? Chongo here, and today I've got a gameplay commentary for you guys. The gameplay is of Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PC, and today's commentary topic is going to be about the news I heard this morning. That is the deal between Disney and EA, so EA can make some Star Wars games. So let's get into it. Now, I was really surprised when I heard this news, and I was actually kind of excited because even though EA doesn't really have the best track record, it seems like a good idea because by doing this, we probably will end up seeing some more good Star Wars games in the near future. So the actual news is that Disney has given EA the rights to publish certain Star Wars games, and they're going to be more for a core gaming audience, and the development teams that will be working on this will be DICE and Visceral, so they're the guys that make Dead Space and the people who make Battlefield, if you didn't know. And in addition to that, they've got BioWare still working on Star Wars, the MMO, The Old Republic. I'm hoping that they come across and maybe do a KOTOR or maybe do some other kind of heavy single player stuff, because it seems like for the most part whenever I play a BioWare game, the storyline is what's done really well in it. Now it seems like the default reaction to this is everyone complaining straight up. However, for me and some other people, they're kind of looking at this like this may be the way to get a Battlefront 3 or any new really good Star Wars games. It still means we might see Star Wars 13 because EA may end up picking up the games that are already being worked on by LucasArts and can publish them. Something else that was said in the article was that they're going to borrow a lot of things from the movies, so I'm guessing this means probably the old movies as well as some of the new movies that are going to be releasing in the next couple of years, but they said they're not going to base them completely off the movies. They're still going to be separate. So I'm glad that's going to happen because movie games don't really have a good track record of being good, so it'll be good that they can kind of relate to some stuff from the movies, even if they're the new movies or the old movies or whatnot, but it'll still be completely separate from that. So I kind of hope a lot of people step back from this and realize this could be a good decision. EA may screw it up, but you never know, they may make this really good, because with all this stuff that's been going on about Battlefront 3 recently, about there needs to be a sequel and all this kind of stuff, it seems like this is the way we're going to get it. So I don't really think that everyone needs to be all up in arms that EA's picking it up. I think personally things could be worse. I mean, Activision could have picked it up, but for me, I prefer what EA would do with it, considering DICE does make Battlefield, and to me, Battlefield and Battlefront, like Star Wars feels like, you know, Battlefield, but you know, just based on Star Wars with the class-based system and all that. So I think it's a lot more in their ballpark to make a game like this than some other studios. It could also mean that we may end up seeing some Star Wars games sooner rather than later. For example, some of these assets, like especially Star Wars 13, would have a pretty good build up for that, so one of the development studios under EA could pick that up and maybe get moving with it and finish it off. So we may even end up seeing Star Wars 13 in the next year, and dependent on how much is left from Star Wars Battlefront 3, because it was obvious LucasArts was working on that, someone would have to pick that up and try and work on that. Maybe we'd see that by sometime, maybe mid next year or late next year. I'm personally very happy with this deal because it could end up seeing Battlefront 3 released at some point in the near future, because personally Battlefront 2 was one of my favorite games of all time, and I still play it to this day, and it's awesome that people are bringing back the community to Star Wars Battlefront, because there was some sale on Steam on the weekend, and I think it was $3.40 or something like that. So it's interesting to see that people are still playing a game like this, even though it is so old. I think it'd be very silly for EA not to do anything with Star Wars Battlefront in the near future, because just simply the fact that everyone seems to want to see Star Wars Battlefront 3, myself included, and plus graphics won't be a problem with this because they'll be using the Frostbite engine, so we're going to have a Star Wars game that could possibly have one of the best graphics that we could see. So I'm very optimistic about this, but bad things could happen, but also some good things could happen as well, so it's kind of a weird point. EA could completely screw this up, or they could make some really good Star Wars games, and I hope that it does work out well, and hopefully we'll end up with lots of good Star Wars games in the near future. Anyway, this brings me out of my commentary. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, and if you've got any comments about this deal or Star Wars Battlefront 3 or anything to do with Star Wars, put it down below, and if you want to join the gamerhood, just subscribe. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.